Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Bonsai Forever. My name is Jay Borstel, and today I'm going to be working on a maple tree. So this is a maple tree that I collected from one of my friend's house in Tennessee. I've had it in this pot for 2 years now, and it's doing really well. I'll grab my turntable so I can spin it around. The pot's a little heavy, so there we go. So this is, I don't know what variety of maple it is. It's a really pretty tree, I think. It's got a lot of character. It's got quite a few twiggy branches. I don't know how old it is. It was obviously I just said it was a collected tree, and just I'm so tired. I got like 4 hours of sleep last night, so I'm gonna work on a tree. I'm gonna talk about it as much as I can. I do know a lot about maples. There's not a whole lot to do on this tree. I did some work on it a couple of months ago. I did a video on it. So basically what I'm going to do today is I need to clear this. This is too much. It's up around the trunk, and this has got a really cool trunk on it. So I don't want to damage the trunk by leaving all the weeds right around the trunk and it starting to rot away or something, or getting some kind of disease, anything like that. So I'm going to work on that and just kind of look it over, because it had leaves on it the last time I worked on it. There's a couple of branches that are new. That's really cool. This one's new. I'm going to definitely let that one grow out. There's a tiny little one here. That one I'll probably take off. This one I'll probably take off. I don't know. So most of this is from this last year's growth and a little bit from this year's growth. I think like the ends here from this year. So it didn't grow really fast this year. I might do a little bit more fertilizing this winter, so that it'll grow a little bit better next spring. But I kind of like that it's slow growing, because it doesn't take a whole lot of maintenance. So I guess first what I'm going to do is I'm going to take care of this stuff down here. I'm going to bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so I got you in a little bit closer here. I'm just gonna start ripping these out, because I don't know what's really under all of this stuff. It's a lot of it is the clovers. All of this is clovers. I was kind of letting it grow so all the seed pods would spread some seeds throughout the garden where the tree is at, so that I can have clovers instead of weeds, because I would rather have these clovers, weeds, whatever you want to call them, rather than some of the other stuff that's around the garden. So I was kind of letting them grow for that, and they just got too much. So I need to take care of it and get this back under control so that it doesn't damage the tree at all, because this is a really cool tree. So basically I'm just going to go through and pick out all the weeds. I'm going to try to get them as close to the ground as possible. I'll try to get them all. I like how it's got the moss in here. I'm going to definitely leave the moss. I'm also kind of looking for ants and other bugs in here. A couple of my other trees had ants in the soil, so I took care of that. I used orange oil extract. It's a cleaner that I got off of Amazon, but that's what the cleaner is orange oil extract. And then I mixed it with my rainwater that I water my trees with a lot, and I used that to get rid of the ants, and it does a pretty good job. Sometimes it takes a couple of doses, I guess you would say, where you spray the whole pot down. let it sit for about an hour or so, and then rinse the soil back out, because I don't know, I haven't had any trouble with just soaking the soil down and just leaving it in the soil. Obviously there's some trees that don't like acidic soil as much as others do, so if you know that a certain tree doesn't like acidic soil, leave it in there for about an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then rinse the soil out really good. Or you could even just repot the tree. That has its perks and downfalls, though. If it's a tree that can only be repotted during the summertime or the winter or the springtime, and it's the middle of summer or going in a wintertime, then obviously you want to be careful with that, because you don't want to kill your tree trying to get rid of ants. You know, because there's other ways to get rid of ants. That's just the way that I've used, because I have chickens and stuff, and you know how chickens are, they get all over everything, so they start eating the soil and it's got ant killer on it and they eat it, and that's not good for your chickens. So anyway, now I'm rambling. So yeah, so that's what I use to get rid of the ants in my trees, and it works pretty good. So these little seed pods that I was showing you, when they get ready, they kind of explode with little seeds all over the place. So it's kind of cool, but I'm exploding seeds all over in here too. So I don't know how that's going to turn out. We'll figure it out when we get there, though. Once a whole bunch of clovers start growing and everything else, I'll just pick them out when they're little. They're a lot easier to pick out when they're little. This moss is kind of a cool moss, but I don't really like it on this tree, so I'm going to put it over here in this plant. Just, it grows too, I don't know, like just too thick. I'm going to save it though, because I like it on some of my trees, just it doesn't look so good on this tree. It makes the tree look small because it's too thick. It's like having giant grass on your tree or something. Or giant grass in your yard. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. It looks like there's a bunch of springtail bugs on here, which springtails aren't, they're not dangerous. They're good bugs. They're actually considered I just said this earlier. They're a decomposer, is what they're called. So they help to decompose organic material. So if you've got a bunch of leaf litter on your trees or whatever, and you have a bunch of springtails, it's good, because they're just eating all the leaf litter. And I've got snails all over everything too, which is fine with me, because the snails can eat the algae off the trunk of your tree too. So once they get up into the leaves and they start eating the canopy of your tree, then I'd recommend taking them off. But if they're not damaging your tree, then there's a chance that they're actually helping the tree. So save me the time of scrubbing my tree off if they'll take the algae off the trunk. I'm going to try to take these clovers out of this moss while it's on the pot here, so that I can save the moss but get rid of the clovers. Yeah, there's an ant. Got him. Those ants are mean. I don't know what kind of ant they are, but they're like a really long ant, and they're like, I think they've got a black head, and the next section is red, and then a black back end. and those guys bite really hard. And they seem to run around by themselves most of the time. Picking weeds is tedious in your bonsai trees as much as it is in the yard. I've been trying to pick all the weeds out of the bonsai garden out here. Man, it's non-stop. You think you get somewhere, and then a couple of days later it's full of weeds again. And you get somewhere again, and then more weeds and more weeds, and it's non-stop. Alright, so I'm going to take this whole mat off of here. I'm going to save it for something else later. Just put it up here for now. Another clover in there. I think in the spring I'm going to repot this tree. I'll pull it out of this pot, and I'm not sure what pot I'm going to put it in. I don't actually have a new pot to put this in. This pot is actually cracked. It's cracked down the side here, and it's cracked down the side here. And the only reason why this side's staying on is because it's attached to the bottom. So I think that's the only reason why it's still together. But I got this pot from my grandmother, and she passed away at the beginning of this year, so I don't want to get rid of the pot. I'm going to take this tree out of it, and I'm going to repair the pot as best I can. I'll probably just glue it just to make sure it stays together, and then clean it up, and I might just put the tree back into it. But I do need to do some root work on this. I haven't repotted this tree in the 2 years that I've had it in a pot, so I'm kind of wondering if that's one of the reasons why it's not growing so quickly, because it's really root bound. And so in the springtime, when the buds start really swelling, just before they pop, I'm gonna repot it, put some new soil in here, use a little bit different type of soil, I think, than what I've got in here, so that I can make sure that it grows really good. And I'm going to definitely fertilize it really good so that I can get some more growth out of it. I want to get it a lot more twiggy at the end of each of the branches so that it can look more like a tree. So I'm going to move you guys back so that we can do a little bit of branch work up here, because you can't see any of the branches. Might just turn the camera tripod. Oh, I'm going to turn the camera around. I think you guys can see what I'm doing right there. This is a really tall tree. Alright, hopefully I didn't just yell in your ears. So I'm going to probably stand up for this part. This is a pretty tall tree. Alright, so I am going to take off the really long pieces, like this one. I'm going to leave, it looks like it's got a little bud right here, and then 2 and 2, and then 2 out here. So I think I'm going to leave it at 3. If it's only 3, I'm going to leave it at 3. If there's any that are 4, I'm going to cut those back. But it doesn't look like there's any that are 4. This one is a longer piece out here, and this is a longer piece out here, and this one's really short. So I think I might keep this one and this one. I'm going to get rid of this one. Use some bigger cutters on it. Make sure I get a good clean cut. Just like that. I think I'm going to take this one off too. I'm going to leave it with these ones here. So it is growing on the bottom side of the branch. Like that. Yeah, that looks better. And this one looks pretty decent. It's one branch here, and then it's got a branch going off and a branch going off over here. And this is one branch and then two coming off of it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come way up here. I'm going to take the one that's going upwards off here. When I trimmed this originally, like the first year I got it, I cut this branch off. I probably should have left this branch on and cut one of the side ones off, but you know, you can't go back and fix that. Once you cut a branch off, it's gone. So I can't go back and redo that. I think I'm going to take this long piece off and keep the smaller pieces here. I'm kind of thinking I might just go through the whole tree and do that. I'll take the longer pieces off and keep the shorter pieces. Yeah, I'm going to do that on a lot of this. I'm not on this. Well, no, I think I am. I am going to take this one off. Because it's starting to get a reverse taper right here. I don't want that. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I don't want to take too much off because I don't want to kill this, and I want this to be able to heal over. But I'm going to try to dig down a little bit so that it has some place to heal too, so that it'll roll over. So that should be okay. Alright, so these ones that are long, I'm going to leave those. But I am going to take this one off. This will be the last one that I'll take off up here. Do I want to take it off here, or do I want to take it off there? You know, I'm going to take it off right here and leave that as the new branch. It is going to probably just grow this direction, but I got this over here growing out here and that, so it should be okay there. I do kind of like how it's got this long branch here and this long branch here. Definitely going to let this grow out up into here. I am going to let this grow up into this section over here, so that it's more of a canopy right there, I guess. One last thing I'm going to do to this is I'm going to wire this branch, and that's going to be the only branch I'm going to wire on this tree, because everything else I like. So I'm going to just wrap it around this branch just a little bit for an anchor. So I'm just going to do that number there, like that. And I'm going to go around. I want to go over the branch so that the wire's coming underneath when it comes off the other, or when it gets to the end of the branch. So I need to go over the branch. And I'm mostly wanting to wire the end of it, so this part, having it like really secure, isn't a super big deal, but it's a big enough deal that I don't want to damage the tree with the wire. So I'm going to be careful not to damage the tree with the wire. Sometimes I like to kind of hold the branch in the direction that I'm trying to wire it in. And as I'm wiring it, it kind of goes where I want it to go to. And then I can go back in and tweak it a little bit, make sure that it's exactly where I want it. because I do want this branch to be going this direction a little bit more. And I'm gonna twist it a little bit as I bend it. And I want to kind of make it flat right here. I hope you can see that. Sorry about that. You guys couldn't see any of that really, can you? Let's get in as close as I can with you. Okay, so I'm going to try not to edit this video also, so hopefully I'm not jacking you guys up too much. Okay. Yeah, that looks good right there. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that looks really good. All right, so I'm gonna bring you back a little bit again and just kind of do a turn around of the tree, and there we go. I'm gonna spin the tree around a little bit and show you what it looks like. There's another one of those ants. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Hopefully it does better this spring also. Looks pretty good. I love the trunk. I love how it's got a very unique twist in it. And I know there's probably a lot of people that are going to say I could just cut it off right here and make this the top of the tree, or I could cut it off here and make, you know, or here, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, that's all good, valid stuff, but I want to leave this tree as natural as possible with its growth. And this is how it was, pretty darn close to this in the wild. I cut off a few branches, making stuff more compact. And obviously bent one branch this whole time I've been working on it. So I'm going to develop this and the whole tree all together so that I don't have major cut places in the tree. I want this thing to look natural. If it takes 100 years, then somebody else can see it when it's done. Do you see one more place from this angle that I want to take off? So I'm going to grab the camera and show you from my point of view over here. All right, check this out. So I'm sitting here looking up at the tree. I'm going to just give you kind of a good close-up of the tree. This is awesome trunk. It's got a lot of really cool movement in it. It's got some awesome roots. It's not flawless, obviously. I mean, it's a tree. You know, trees have their own flaws, but as I'm going up the tree, I'm looking up here. Where am I looking? So if you look right here, I don't know if you can see it. Maybe you see what I'm seeing or not. Let me see about this angle. That might be a better angle to see what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at this branch right here. You see I've got small, and then there's another one on this other side. This one here. Wait, where's my finger at? There we go. Sorry. This one is small. And you got this really big branch right here. It's got a tiny little piece at the end. At the end right there. Where am I at? Right here. It's got this tiny little piece at the end. But this branch is just really big. So I'm going to cut that off and see what that looks like. I'm sure it's going to look a lot better. I'm going to try and show you while I cut it. I'm going to get right up in there into where everything meets. I'm going to take that off. So now it's got really twiggy branches all the way right there. So it looks way better. Yeah, That looks way better. All right. All right, so that's going to be this tree for today. And I did try to drape the thing over everything over there so you could see what I'm doing. Not really trying to hide anything except so that you could see the tree. Or maybe I am hiding something. You'll have to see later. All right, everybody. So that's going to do it for this tree for today. This is going to be a long project. Like I said, this is going to take a long time, which is awesome, because I mean, if you have a project that takes a couple of days, a year, and then it's over, and then now what? You know, so this is something that I can look forward to working on year after year and watching it get better and better and better. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you know when I'm uploading videos, because I've been trying to upload a video a week, but I might sporadically put more than one video in. This is going to be one of those. I'm going to put this in tomorrow probably. I'll go over it and do a little bit of editing, take out some stuff maybe, but I'll put it in this week. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.